Hey, everybody. Welcome to this lovely session with beautiful Nikki today. Today, we have the privilege of speaking with an extraordinary leader, Miss Nikki, and a top earner in Enagic, the prestigious water company ionizer company, sorry. Not only has she excelled in her role, but she has also recently achieved the high status rank of 6A, a testament to her hard work, dedication, and her leadership skills. Her journey with Enagic is nothing short of inspiring, having demonstrated exceptional skills in sales and team building to reach the top echelons of the company. She embodies the spirit of Enagic with a deep-seated passion for health and wellness, excuse me, please, and a belief in the transformative power of ionized water. Today, Nikki will share her journey to achieving the 6A rank, her strategies for success, and her insights on the unique benefits of Enagic's water ionizers. Her leadership skills and dedication have not only helped her reach this top rank, but have also inspired so many of us within the Enagic community. Join us today as we delve into her inspiring story, the power of the water, and the exceptional qualities that make Enagic stand out in the market. This is an opportunity to learn from one of the best today, guys. So get ready to be motivated and inspired by her journey to the top. Yay, Nikki.
Woo, what an intro.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so excited just to get your thoughts and just to have you on. You're a beautiful soul. I love having you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and to share all the knowledge and motivation with you guys today.
Yay, absolutely. And congrats to making that beautiful rank 6A. You just walked across a amazing stage in Vegas. How did that feel?
Oh yeah, that honestly was pretty unreal. I mean, there were so many more people than you would think.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show you how this can be achieved by anybody, you
Right.
know? So I just felt more motivated than ever, I should say, to continue in my Enagic journey, and it just felt really good to know that all my hard work and effort really paid off.
Yeah, right. I know. I'm excited to walk across that stage one of these days too. It's I could see your smile and just your light, and it was just like, yes, we can do this. Yeah.
Absolutely,
For
yeah. It
sure.
felt amazing. I mean, it was almost like a quick little high, of some
Yeah.
sort. All the endorphins were flowing. It was just really, really cool. I mean, a little shocking with how many people were just like staring at you, right? But it was awesome. I mean, I got to walk across the stage with some really amazing people who are within our organization also. Ariel Avila being one of them. He and I kind of have this like friendly competition thing going where
Yeah.
we hit core rank at the same time, we got to speak on stage at the same time, and then we hit 6A around the same time too. So it was just a lot of fun to be able to celebrate that with him, and many others that are really just crushing it in this business.
Yay. I love it. Yeah. He is a phenomenal human. So yeah, I'm sure that's awesome just to share that journey for sure. Okay, so let's dive right into it, right? How did you get started? Like, how did this water come into your life? How did it just what got you into it? What got you interested?
Yeah, so it's funny because I always share this part, and this has been coined as like a phrase that everyone uses now, is that like this was an answered prayer for me, right? So I am a single mom. I've never had any help from my son's father, and I, first and foremost, backing up, like I've been a personal trainer for over 10 years, and when I got pregnant, I was living in California, and I had clients in person and online. So I was doing fairly well in California, and then I got pregnant, but none of my family was there. So I had to relocate all the way across the United States to North Carolina, where my mom was. And I kind of had to start from square one again. And that's when I really took on all of the online stuff full time. And it was just a lot. the fitness space is very overly saturated with lots of trainers, especially everyone trying to do everything online nowadays. And
Sure.
so it just was a lot, being a single pregnant mom, trying to keep up with paying my bills and my rent. And it was just a very stressful time in my life. So I was just praying to God for an opportunity that was going to align with my values, something that was going to be sustainable in the long run.
Mm.
And I saw my friend Becca, who connected basically all of us here, right? Um, I met her through like the CrossFit space, and we had only met once before, like in person. So we were just online friends basically.
Uh-huh.
And I saw her posting about the water, and I was like, this is new. This is interesting. And I literally watched her for about a couple months.
Yeah.
She just kept popping up, and then my interest was piqued, and I was like, what is this? Because I saw her soaking her fruits and veggies in the water, and I'm like, that's really strange. I've never seen anyone do that before and post about it, right? Like
Right.
who shows that they're like taking pesticides off their fruit and veggies. And so that's basically how I got started. I reached out, I saw a demo video and the comp plant video. I literally didn't really need, I saw the tapped trailer video about the bottled water industry, and I was sold right then and there. The only problem for me was broke single mom.
Amen.
Just had, I think, a 2-year-old child.
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't have the money to get this thing. So, she told me about the payment plans. We tried the credit card route. My credit wasn't the greatest at the time. So I ended up financing through Enagic, but I had to save up for my down payment. Like I didn't
Sure.
have it right away. So, but I saw the vision, right? I saw the vision in the business. I knew that this was the vehicle that was going to get me to where I wanted to be financially, and just like in a better place mentally, with, and just having that peace of mind that me and my son were going to be okay. And I just saw the vision of the whole entire thing, and I was like, there's no way I'm not getting this. And so I just kept that vision in the forefront of my mind, and I saved up for my machine. I got my machine, and within, it actually took a month for me to hook it up because we were having
Oh
issues with my
no.
faucets. I know Becca was like, please don't send it back. This has never happened to me before. And I was like, listen, I'm not sending this thing back. I've seen too much now to
Right.
know
I
that
am
like
in it.
yeah, the water we're drinking is not good, and I'm not going back. I'm like, we will make it work. This
Yeah.
this will be, and I think like from that point forward too, like Becca kind of knew that I was going to be good in the business because I was a problem solver. Like from the get go, I was like, this is gonna get hooked up one way or another.
Right. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, so that's how I got started. And as soon as even before I had my machine hooked up, I was posting about it,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And I was
awesome.
just reposting stuff from Becca. And within a month of me actually getting my machine hooked up, I got my first sale.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hmm.
That's so good. Like but it's a testament to your belief system too, right? Like you knew like things are not right over here in what I've been doing. And so I'm sure, I feel like we've talked about this before, but both of us have been in the health and wellness industry for 10 plus years, right? And so it was like those first few times and we were like, water. Like, but then as soon as you start seeing stuff, it's like, well, of course that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because like being a trainer, knowing that we need to be drinking an adequate amount of water, knowing we need to be hydrated was always something that I knew. But it's like, and the thing is too, like I remember there being a time where people were saying bottled water isn't good to drink, you shouldn't be drinking it. And I never really dove into it, but it always like was in the back of my mind. And then
Yeah.
this came up, and I really decided to deep dive into it. And then I was like, whoa, like this is for real. Like
Right.
we really need to be taking this seriously,
Mm-hmm. I
So,
agree. It's really funny. I was almost in that exact same boat. Like it was probably my husband at one point, like really dove into nutrition and a bunch of different things. And I feel like I want to say it was the China study book. I'm not 100% sure if it was or not. I don't know if you've heard of that one or not. But um, in that time frame, though, I remember reading just because you're drinking water doesn't mean that your cells are getting hydrated. And I was always like, but how am I supposed to do it? Like, what am I supposed to do? And so then that story had played in my head for 5 years without really an answer. And then lo and behold, the beautiful water comes in, and I'm like, oh, that's how you get it there. That's how you get it in those cells.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I know. I was mind blown. I was like, oh my gosh. And even being as healthy as I was when I first started to drink the water, I was like, I am really not as hydrated as I thought I was.
absolutely. Yeah, I know. Same way. For me, it was always headaches. I had and it was never like, it was never like a migraine or anything like that, but it was just consistent like headaches by the end of the day. Um,
Yeah.
and then obviously after I got on the water, I was like, oh, I was never truly hydrated because, within a week it was gone. So
Yeah.
pretty
For
crazy.
me, it was brain fog and low energy,
Mhm.
poor sleep. This is
Right.
so bad coming from like someone who works out all the time. And this just goes to show you that people who do work out all the time are not always the healthiest.
Agreed.
And me thinking that I was like the healthiest, going back and looking at all the things that changed just from changing my water, I'm like, okay, maybe I wasn't the healthiest. Like I thought I was doing all the right things, and maybe I was, except the only thing missing was the water, right?
Mhm.
So for me, it was brain fog. I always felt like I just would forget things easily. I just would be like, oh, what was I doing? And like
Yeah. Walk in
come
a
back
room.
to it, like, oh, like walk out of a room, and then, all the things like that, like mom brain, and
Sure.
then like just low energy. I had maybe like 2 to 3 cups of coffee or some sort of caffeine a day.
Mhm.
And like my kid was still in a phase where he would wake up a couple of times throughout the night.
Mhm.
So my sleep was just awful. Like I couldn't sleep because I would just hear him, and it would, mess me up with my
Absolutely. Those are
cycles.
all.
And then, my performance in recovery when it came to working out, I just was amazed by how quickly I was recovering after I started drinking the water. And I wasn't as sore because of how quickly the water was flushing out all that lactic acid buildup and everything that makes you sore, right? I was like, wow, this is really, really cool that I'm seeing these results. And for me, being someone who is, very healthy in a sense, I was not hydrated at all.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it just happens to all of us. And we have no idea that happens to be one of the main problems. It's
Yeah.
just hydration. Like, all of those organs in there, they need that water just to work on a good basis.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
I
funny
know.
that you say that because I actually just so there's a couple books that I like deep dove into about this water too, and
Okay.
one of them was The Miraculous Properties of Ionized Water by Bob McCauley, I think is
Yes, I think that's
yeah.
correct. Yes.
And so like I had taken a screenshot, and I literally just saw this yesterday, and because I was just like scrolling through my stuff here, but I just wanted to share with you, since we're talking about like how organs and all that have to be well hydrated. So what I had gone in and highlighted was it said water serves to energize every cell and organ in the body. It is crucial to every bodily operation, and when we become dehydrated, the body instinctively begins to ration water to each organ. The brain, being the most important organ, gets the most water. The skin, being the least important, is rationed the least amount of water, which totally makes sense because when you see someone who's dehydrated, their skin is not well hydrated. They have all these wrinkles.
Right.
They just look like they're
Shriveled.
needing water, right?
Right.
Chronically dry skin and or dandruff are signs of advanced dehydration. as our asthma and hyperventilation. It is the law of vital adaptation at work. The body will do what it must to survive. It will adapt to its circumstances, which in this case means the most important organs, such as the brain, heart, and liver, get water first. I thought that that was so interesting. And it
Yeah.
makes sense, when you read these things and you actually go and do your research
Mhm.
and dive more into why water is so important, because everyone, I guarantee you, everyone in like the health and wellness and fitness space, trainers, everyone, they all say water is so important, you need it for this and this and this, but they don't actually know the reasons why,
Right.
and that's how I was. And I'm sitting here telling you that that's how I was,
Oh,
like
100%.
ignorant know-it-all.
Uh-huh. Oh gosh, right? Absolutely. And it's like, well, we know to drink water, like drink water, I mean, that's just everybody, especially in the health and wellness industry. Drink water, drink water. Don't forget, drink your water. But so many times, especially now, like everybody wants to know why. Like, okay, great, you're telling me these things, but why is it essential? Why is it, and I think that's true. Like for me anyway, one of the things that I realized, I'm like, okay, it's not just important, it is essential
Mm-hmm.
to living a healthy lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
To getting all of these organs to perform exactly how they're supposed to, and to make sure that everything is in homeostasis, right? That we're all completely balanced. That's true health and what it looks like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree
The
100%.
more you know.
I know, right? And so let's just keep going down this road, right? Because we have this beautiful community that surrounds us. And so we are consistently growing, right? We are consistently learning and finding all of these new things to just to help educate. That's really what we're here for, is just to help educate and get the word out so that people do understand it's
Yeah.
not just water. And so talk to us a little bit about the community, about the people that you surround yourself with, and how you're growing with them.
Yeah, it's funny because like before I got into this business, I really didn't do much of like personal development at all. Like hardly read books. I didn't listen to audibles. I didn't hop on, trainings or anything like that. Like you could never find me doing any of that stuff. So it's funny how this, business came into my life, and now I'm literally a completely different human than I was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's all because when you do something like this, like um, a business where you're running it, you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to better yourself, like there's no better way to go about it than to invest in your own self and your own personal development. And when I signed on to this community, that's exactly what I got. I got a community of people who, number one, support you. Number two, they want to see you succeed and they give you the tools to do so. And it's really up to you how much you decide to invest in yourself. So at the end of the day, you're still in full control over all of this stuff, but it basically comes down to how bad do you want it,
Mhm.
and then also, for me, I've always loved helping people. I've always wanted to see people become the best versions of themselves. So if in order for me to do that, I have to do the work myself.
Mhm.
So and I've always been, I don't want to say like a perfectionist, but I need to be the expert.
Yeah.
So in order for me to be the expert, I have to read, I have to get on trainings, I have to listen to people who have the results that I want. And the beauty about this community is that you get all of that here, you
Yeah.
know? So they give you the tools, they tell you, um, or they don't tell you, they suggest like what books to read, you
Agreed.
know, and it's not all about water. Like the trainings aren't about water.
Right.
It's not,
It's
it's
really not much at all, to be honest.
not. It's about how to be a human being and have relationships with people.
Right. How to be a good person, like
Yeah.
how to actually care and listen. Right. I think that's
Yeah.
one of the things I learned often and every day. Remember to listen to people. Don't just let whatever fly by, and your agenda doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
listen to people and develop relationships. And that's the key to the growth.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that I always have to remember, this was an answer prayer for me. And so it must be an answer prayer for someone else. And it's really just about, having that conversation, asking those questions, seeing where people are at, meeting them where they're at, and just kind of bringing it down to a human level where you're telling them your struggles, what you went through, or like sharing someone else's story or testimonial just to kind of make it relevant to what they're in need of, So,
Right.
um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, the community is amazing. I love it. We have incredible trainings. We have events that literally change lives because you have to believe in the product, but you also have to believe in yourself. And in order to actually um, instill that confidence in yourself, you have to get yourself to an event, because then you can see everyone who's doing it, everyone who's had success. It's just normal everyday people like you and me, and it's really awesome to see that like anyone can do this.
Yeah,
Hold
I
on one
agree.
second.
100%. No, you're good. You're perfect.
There's people doing, I hope you can't hear that. The
No, I
banging.
can't at all.
Oh,
Nope.
okay.
You're perfect.
They're doing construction in like the bathroom on the other side of the house, and
I
I
gotcha.
can hear it, but I'm glad you can't.
Nope, I can't hear anything at all. You're perfect.
Wonderful.
Yay. So definitely community. I can see that it is, I know just because of being in it, right? How much it has influenced and done stuff. But so whenever you start talking about building your strong network, and you have a team now. How many people do you have on your team?
Actively working, I would say six or so, six to seven people just
Right.
actively working it. A lot of them are newer. You know,
Sure.
so they require a lot more of my time,
Mhm.
which is fine.
Right.
I'm totally okay with that. Because their success is my success, right?
It
So
is. Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
So then
Mhm.
how have you been able to start that team, build that team, pour into your team, and then, I feel like it always comes back to the community that we're into, right? Like we learn from each other so very much. But yeah, how does it feel to have that strong team underneath of you, and then how do you help them grow?
Yeah, I mean, it's a journey. I grew up playing sports, so I'm good with teams. Um, and I've been like the captain of my soccer team before, so I feel like pretty confident in a leadership role. Um, just kind of, so let me just like backtrack. So in order to find these people, you know, especially for me, since I do most of my stuff online, you have to promote the business, have to talk about the business. And so what I decided to do back when I was a 4A was to start doing like water webinars and opportunity calls for the business. And doing those consistently allowed me to get more information in one sitting to a lump sum of people, and for them to see the vision and hear my story, and know that it's possible for themselves too. So you know we have all these different ways of going about it, but I found that that was like the most success that I had when it came to building my team.
Mhm.
But the thing is, when you have a business and you're posting about it on social media, people aren't going to join you until they know what kind of person you are. So the focus has always been on showing people who I am and bringing them along my journey and showing them that it is possible and being open and vulnerable about my struggles. And I think that that's really important, because you don't want to come off and say like that this is easy and it's like a get rich quick thing, because it's
Right.
not. It takes work, it takes time, it takes effort, and you need to be hungry for it. So um, and you have to be willing and coachable. That's always, it always comes back to those three things: hungry, willing, and coachable.
Agreed.
So in order to get people interested, I share my journey first and foremost, and then I get them on a call, like one of the opportunity calls, and then from
Yep.
there, if they're interested, they'll sign up and they'll do the business. And then it's all about just getting them plugged into the community, because there's strength in numbers, and we have an amazing community, and we have an awesome training platform. We have a great system to follow that's very duplicatable. So even the newest person can find success early on just by following the system. So
Agreed.
that's really what my main focus is. When I get new people on, I put them into our community. I plug them into boot camp, which is a great way to learn the basics of the business and the water and how to share it organically. And I, continue to just be their cheerleader and say, I'm here for you, whatever you need, and let's go over your goals. And, it is like being a mama hen. You gotta just help your little chicks and, and be there for them every step of the way until they reach a rank where they can pretty much, go off on their own.
Yeah, go fly themselves, right?
Yeah,
it really is. But you are a phenomenal leader. I've watched you do it, and so yeah, kudos to your team, because they have a good girl in front of them, help showing them the way. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so we're talking about goals and all of those wonderful things. So what about you? How do you set your goals now? Like, how do you kind of work through that? Because you have achieved a nice high rank within Enagic. We know that still keeps continuing on. Like, we still just keep growing and keep going. But how do you help your team set goals? And then how do you set goals now for yourself too?
Yeah. So for me personally, in the beginning, it was a lot different because I was like struggling single mom, right? And I needed to make money quickly. So in the beginning, it was like, let me get as many directs as I can. I wasn't even focused on a team. And to be honest, like, I wish I would have focused on that a little earlier and,
Sure.
And built that sooner, but it's okay. I mean, that, we learn and we grow. And so my focus now is not so much on directs for myself, because I know that I can do those, right? I know that that's something that I'm pretty much a master at doing now. But for me, it's just helping my team get those directs, and helping them find people that want to do the business too, and not being afraid to share it early on. So my goal is to just get everybody to do a little bit, and then to, make another goal for themselves to like add one more sale per month for themselves, So, and that's something that Colton, who is our leader of Race to Freedom, always talks about too. And he just talked about recently on a leadership call that we had. He said, if you really want to make a lot of money in this business, then you need to get everybody to do a little bit. Like, stop trying to hold the reins and drive it home yourself with all the directs, because you're just doing way too much work, right? If you have a bunch of people on your team, if you get them to do 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 sales per month, that's all going to compound. It's going to add up. And then plus having 3 sales a month at the least, like, that's always going to, it's going to bring you more money, rather if you're just doing it yourself. So,
Sure.
So that's my focus. My goal is to just help everyone get like 1 to 2 sales per month until they feel comfortable and they're in the flow, and they're, ranked up to 3A or higher, and they can do it on their own and train their team the same way.
Sure.
And always finding new people is a goal of mine too, because the more people that you have doing 1 to 2 sales, the better for you,
Right. Absolutely.
So that's where I'm at now, is just like building my team, helping them grow, and helping them become the leaders that they need to be for their future teams. And then for them, it's just, I wouldn't say I'm like a lackadaisical type of leader, but I don't force anyone to do anything that they don't want to do. I'm not up their butts. I'm always like, I'm here for you. If you need me, you know where to find me.
Right.
Type of thing. Because I have other people that are willing to work with me, that are coachable, that are hungry for it, So it's like, I'm not going to chase, but I am here if you need me.
Absolutely.
So that's basically like my leadership style. And if I haven't heard from someone in a while, like, I'll definitely reach out and be like, you good?
Hey,
How are things going? How
Yeah.
can I help you? what can I do for you?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
load it on me because I
Uh-huh.
feel like we're also therapists in this business as
Oh, we
well.
are 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
so yeah, I mean, and then, obviously just making sure that I'm continuing my education and how to be the best leader I can be, and, just staying focused on what I can learn about the water. I'm reading the book Water Codes right now, which is just blowing my mind.
Yeah,
And
that's
the more that I read about the water, the more I'm like, okay, I really need to help more and more people get this.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really funny how there's like definitely certain books or certain speakers or different stuff that really just lights that fire underneath of us. That's like
Mhm.
not, and then it becomes not a I situation, right? It becomes a let's talk about you, right? And let's help you get these things because it really is a life changing thing for sure. Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
okay, so we are just about done with time today. So let's talk about last thing we're going to go on is your personal growth. Like, how do you feel like you've grown? We've kind of hit on it, like just a little bit hit and miss of, all the ways that you have become a leader and how you show up. But, if you could take one thing and you can say, yeah, this is like, man, I have grown leaps and bounds just because of this business. What do you think that would be?
Yeah, I mean, personal development has always been something that I am just so grateful for this business for. I feel like if you really want to achieve anything in your life, like you have to put the work in and you have to invest in yourself. And for me, I still make like scary investments with my money, because I know that in the end, like it's all going to pay off, but there is still some hesitation there for sure.
Absolutely.
And that just comes from a background of being scarcity mindset, being in positions where I didn't have a lot of money to work with, paycheck to paycheck, being in fight or flight type of thing, so,
Yeah.
but I just know, and honestly, like, um, through this entire journey as well, like my relationship with God has gotten so much greater too. And just knowing and trusting in Him to do with the things that I am providing, it has been huge too. Like whenever I feel like I'm in that scarcity mindset, I'm always thinking, well, this isn't mine anyway to deal with. Like this is God's. So I'm gonna be faithful and I'm going to trust that He will help me. It's not like I'm putting my money to something that isn't going to help me in the long run, so just like shifting my mindset has been huge. Personal development, those are like two key takeaways, I think, for me. Even if this wasn't the business that I, would have ended up doing, I think for anybody in any field, that is something that should be valued and should really be taken seriously.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I was speaking with someone else earlier today and she was like, I just turned the TV off. Like, right? Like read a book and fill your mind with some of these great things. It really does change the perspective so much. Puts us in abundance mindset
Yes.
versus, living in that scarcity. And we do have to have a mind and a brain. Like we have to know when we can afford things and when we don't. But just to be able to change the thought process, that's a major accomplishment whenever we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And community is everything. Like you really can't do this life alone,
Yeah.
in general. So it's just being able to do life and business with the community is priceless.
It is. It is. It really for our group, especially. Like I know we have a lot of guys in the event or in our organization. However, like I'm like I feel like it's kind of like a sisterhood too, though. Like like
Yeah.
we really do. We love on each other and we root for each other, and just like you said, we're that hand out there just to say, here, come on, let's go talk about it. Um,
Absolutely.
which is it's sometimes that's hard to find. So it's really nice whenever you can link arms with those people and immediately have a connection and just know like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a really cool thing. So awesome. Thank you so much, Nikki, for all of your time today, all of your little gold nuggets of things just to help us along the way. And so I really, really appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. It was
Yeah,
an honor to be on this little show with you, and I'm excited for everyone
absolutely.
to gain some knowledge and wisdom and inspiration from it.
Right. Just get a little bit of something, something. So if anybody wants to contact Nikki or myself, I will attach that in these lovely show notes. And so, yeah, thank you so much again today. And I really appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you.
All right.